Before the video went public, there was a statement from police. George Floyd's death described as a medical incident during a police interaction. But that wasn't the full picture. Now, a revelation out of Houston that this was not Floyd's first experience with an officer who would later be accused of police misconduct. In 2004, Floyd pleaded guilty to selling less than a gram of cocaine. As part of a deal, he served 10 months in jail. The officer who arrested him, Gerald Goins, was the only witness. Now that officer is himself charged with murder and lying in a different case. Goins pleaded not guilty and is awaiting trial. 14,000 cases are under review. 164 may ultimately be dismissed, according to the DA's office. All of the defendants are minorities, and the overwhelming majority are African Americans. The DA's office says Floyd's case resembles others where it appears Officer Goins may have lied.
He would have been entitled to relief, and posthumously we can't necessarily grant that, but I'm going to see what we can do.
There's an expression in American policing that the first story is never the last story.
Bill Bratton spent decades running police departments in New York City and Los Angeles, often focused on rooting out misconduct.
It's my belief that we have come a long way, but where we are, as evidenced by the events of the last several weeks, is clearly not where we need to be.
During New York City corruption scandals in the 90s, officers lied on the witness stand so many times, there was actually a term for it, test-a-lying. Then, just like today, those misrepresentations and at times outright false statements to the public undermine faith in the police force. Like in the 2014 case of Laquan McDonald in Chicago. The 17-year-old shot 16 times and killed. This was a police union spokesperson that night.
He is a very serious threat to the officers.
McDonald did have a knife, but the video showed he wasn't moving towards officers. A task force determined initial reports of the shooting were superficial and false, and McDonald posed no immediate threat. The officer involved was sentenced to 7 years in prison for second-degree murder. And while the bad acts of some often don't represent the many, stories like these can leave lasting damage.
Doesn't the public kind of throw their hands up and say, well, why should I trust you?
They do.
What do you think is the most important message to police officers?
I think the most important message is the constant reminder of what that badge means, the awesome responsibilities and power that that badge gives you.
Bratton says reform should focus on the importance of telling the truth. Trust can erode quickly. Getting it back takes a lot longer. Stephanie Gosk, NBC News.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.